Life does not change only when money changes or when people applaud you. Life changes when your mind changes, because your mind decides what everything means. The same room can feel like a prison or a shelter, depending on the thoughts you bring into it. Rayan lived in a busy town. He was 26 and worked hard, but he carried a secret fear. He believed he was slowly failing at life. Each morning he woke up and his mind began its familiar speech. You were late. Others are ahead. You will never catch up. The words were quiet, almost polite, which made them feel believable. He worked at a small printing shop near the bus station. The machines were simple and honest. If you pressed the right buttons, the paper came out clean. Rayan wished his mind was that honest. While he printed posters and forms, he replayed old mistakes and imagined new disasters. A customer would ask a normal question, and Rayan would hear it as criticism. He would smile, but inside he would shrink. He tried to fix himself. He wrote goals on a page. He promised early mornings. He watched motivational talks at night. For a short time he felt better. Then the old voice returned and said, "See, you cannot even change yourself." The harder he tried to silence the voice, the louder it felt. One evening he left work and walked without direction. Street lights flickered on. People laughed at tea stalls. The town looked alive, yet Rayan felt separate from it, like he was watching life through glass. At the corner of a narrow lane, he noticed a tiny bookshop with a hand-painted sign, "The Second Thought." He had passed this road many times and never seen it. That made him curious, and curiosity is often the first crack in despair. Inside, the air was cool and still. Books filled the shelves from floor to ceiling. Behind a wooden table sat an old man reading, calm as a lake. He looked up and studied Rayan for a moment. "You were carrying a lot," the old man said. Rayan forced a laugh. "It is just work." The old man shook his head. "Not work, thoughts." That single word hit Rayan like a gentle truth. He exhaled and spoke before he could stop himself. "My mind never rests," he said. "I keep thinking about the past and worrying about the future. I want peace, but I do not know how to make my head quiet." The old man closed his book. "Peace is not found by chasing it," he said. "Peace appears when you stop feeding the storm. Tell me, what is the storm made of?" Rayan looked down. "Fear," he admitted. "Shame, comparing myself with others, telling myself I am not enough." The old man stood and pointed to an old mirror on the wall. It had small scratches, but it reflected clearly. "When you look into that mirror, what do you see?" he asked. "My face." "If the mirror is dusty, what do you see?" "A dusty face." "Does the dust change your face?" "No." "Then remember this," the old man said. "The mirror does not create the dirt. It only shows what covers it. Your mind is a mirror. When it is covered with fear, everything you look at seems fearful. When it is covered with shame, everything you look at seems like proof you are small. Life may be difficult, but your mind decides whether difficulty is a sentence or a lesson." Rayan felt hope, but also doubt. "I cannot stop my thoughts," he said. "They come by themselves." "You cannot stop waves," the old man replied, "but you can learn to surf. Thoughts will come, but you can choose which thoughts become your home." He walked to a shelf and brought a small notebook and a pencil. He placed them on the table between them, like an offering. "Take this," he said. "For 7 days, do 2 things. First, whenever a thought makes you feel smaller, write it down. Do not argue with it, just catch it and make it visible. Second, under that thought, write one more sentence, a second thought, a useful thought, something true. If the first thought says, 'I always fail,' your second thought can say, 'I have failed before, but I can learn 1 step today.'" Rayan opened the notebook. The page was blank and bright. It felt like possibility, but possibility can be scary. "What if I cannot find a good second thought?" he asked. "Then borrow mine," the old man said. "Write this sentence as many times as you need. I am still here, so I still have a chance." Rayan repeated it silently. It did not erase his fear, but it softened it. "One more rule," the old man added. "Every morning, before your phone, before anyone else, read your second thoughts from yesterday. Read them slowly. You are training your attention the way you train a muscle." Rayan stood to leave. The old man's voice followed him. "Your mind is everything, because your mind becomes your life." Outside, the street was the same, but Rayan felt a small, quiet space inside him. That night, when the old voice returned, he switched on his lamp, opened the notebook, and wrote the first dark thought. Then he held the pencil above the page and waited, trying to find a second thought that could change his life. Minutes passed, and nothing kind came. His mind offered only more blame. He wrote, "I am weak." He paused. The pencil hovered. At last he remembered the old man's rope of a sentence. He wrote beneath it, "I am still here, so I still have a chance." The moment he wrote it, his chest loosened a little. It was not joy, it was space. In that space, sleep finally approached. But inside he feared the morning, when real life would test this new practice. Morning arrived with the same sounds as always. Distant buses, neighbors opening gates, a kettle whistling somewhere. Rayan's first instinct was to reach for his phone, but he remembered the rule. He sat on the edge of his bed, opened the notebook, and read the lines he had written the night before. "I am weak. I am still here, so I still have a chance." The words did not feel magical. They felt simple. Yet simplicity can be powerful when your mind has been living in chaos. He walked to the shop with the notebook in his bag. Along the way, his thoughts began again. "You will mess up today. People will notice you are behind." Without thinking, he stopped beside a wall covered in old posters and pulled the notebook out. He wrote the thought down exactly as it came. Then he waited for a second thought. After a few breaths, he wrote, "I might make mistakes, but I can fix them one at a time." He put the notebook away and continued walking. Something strange happened. The thought had less grip. It was still there, but it no longer felt like a judge. It felt like a passing stranger. At work, the day tested him. A regular customer came in, impatient and loud. His order was urgent, he said, and he complained about the price. Rayan's stomach tightened. The old fear rose. If he gets angry, it means I'm useless. Rayan felt his hands shake slightly. Then he remembered the practice. He didn't have time to write, but he had time to choose. He whispered inside, "Second thought." He looked at the customer's face and noticed the tiredness around his eyes. Maybe this man is stressed. His anger is not a measure of my worth. He spoke politely, explained the options, and kept his voice steady. The man grumbled, paid, and left. Rayan realized his own fear had been louder than the man's voice. That evening he returned to the bookshop. The old man was there, as calm as before, as if he had been waiting in the same moment all day. "Tell me," the old man said, "did your thoughts disappear?" "No," Rayan admitted. "They came as usual." "And did you disappear?" the old man asked. "No." The old man smiled. "Then you are already learning. Most people think their thoughts are their identity. They say, 'I am anxious, I am a failure, I am unlucky.' But those are not identities. Those are weather reports. Today the mind is cloudy. Tomorrow it can be clear." Rayan sat. "Sometimes my thoughts feel true," he said. "How do I know which one to believe?" The old man tapped the notebook gently. "A thought is not true because it is loud. A thought is true if it helps you live wisely. If a thought makes you smaller and more afraid, question it. If a thought makes you calmer and more responsible, keep it. You are not here to believe every thought. You are here to choose your direction." Rayan looked around the shop. Many books had titles about business, relationships, faith, health. He wondered how many lives had been changed by a sentence written on paper. The old man continued, "There is another lesson. The mind is a storyteller. It creates a story about everything. If you drop a cup, the mind says you are careless. If someone does not reply, the mind says they don't respect you. If you fail once, the mind says you always fail. These are stories, not facts. When you learn to separate facts from stories, you become free." Rayan tried to apply this immediately. Fact, he thought, I am not rich. Story, I will never be rich. Fact, I made mistakes in the past. Story, I ruined everything. The difference felt like opening a window in a closed room. On the third day, something unexpected happened. A new employee joined the printing shop. His name was Samir. He was confident and quick, and he joked easily with customers. Within hours, Rayan's old habit